Hi Year 5 and 6s. In today's session, we're going to continue with our writing and we're going to look at creating links between paragraphs. Sometimes we call this cohesion, and it's about how all of your ideas stick together in your text, how it flows and it's all connected. So we're going to focus on writing the next two main events on our plan, which are arriving in the new country and trying to get a job. So just pause for a minute and have a look back at your plan so you know exactly what you want to include in these paragraphs. And when you're ready, we'll move on to looking at links and cohesion. Okay, ways to link your paragraphs together. The easiest way to do it is to use adverbials. And I'm sure you're all familiar with the writing we've done in school with using words like after, finally, eventually, now, to link your ideas together. But there's another one in here, stepping off the ship, and that's slightly different because it's actually using a verb and turning it into an adverbial phrase. So stepping off the ship tells us when the next event happens. So one way is to use these words which you're all familiar with, I know. Now we're going to talk about a slightly more challenging way of linking your paragraphs together. And this time we're going to talk about using an idea at the end of a paragraph and linking to that at the start of a new paragraph. Here's an example of what I mean. This is when George is on the ship just arriving and seeing the new country. After what felt like a lifetime, George had his first glimpse of the new country. As the ship got closer and closer, he saw grand buildings, taller than any he had ever seen before, immense statues dwarfing the ships in the harbour, and a sky full of airships of all shapes and sizes. Everything was strange and new. Now, I've underlined strange and new in purple there, and also this phrase than he had ever seen before, because those ideas are all linked. So in this paragraph, it's all about how strange the things are. I started the next paragraph by using the phrase unfamiliar world because unfamiliar and strange, it repeats the same idea. So in the next paragraph, it says, staring at this unfamiliar world, George gripped his suitcase tightly. In it was everything he had to link him to his old home. In a daze, he followed the other passengers, joining a queue of people who all looked as lost as him. So again, I've underlined the word lost and unfamiliar because I think this idea links all the way through between the two paragraphs. Strange, new, unfamiliar, lost. It's all about how he feels. Now, I've finished off that paragraph talking about a queue of people because he is part of a crowd in this scene. So my final paragraph here begins, George and the others inched forward until they entered a huge hall filled with people. Looking around, he saw walls covered with banners and notices filled with unfamiliar writing. The air was filled with the sounds of speech that he could not understand. So this final paragraph begins with talking about the other people, and the one before it mentioned a queue of people. So that idea links the two paragraphs together there. I've also mentioned the writing in that scene looks so strange and unfamiliar because that again links back to what we said in the first two paragraphs. Now that is a slightly challenging way of linking your paragraphs together, but if you do it, if you finish with one idea and then begin with the same idea but different words, it really makes your writing flow. So that's what I want you to practice today. Don't forget to indent your paragraph so we can see where you started on a new time or place or action. Right, so you are going back to your plan and you are going to write arriving at the new country, trying to get a job, and you can use this as a guide to help you. Don't forget you've also got that video link to look back at if you've forgotten exactly what happened when in the story. Okay, thank you for listening. Happy writing, and I'm really looking forward to reading some of these finished stories. Bye now.